You know, there's only one Valera. If they will ask me who can compare to him now, today, I would say none. He was a super talented person, and he made use of the talents of our bordadoras. When he passed away, that work just dwindled until halos namatay na. Noon, ang mga bordadoras natin, wow, prolific.
Because
Tsaka ang gaganda, you could see from the book.
Definitely the first-hand exposure to Valera's work was really when I saw my mother-in-law's work. I knew about his work, but never saw it until I'd see my mother-in-law, like she'd sometimes fix her things when she was still alive, and that's when I first saw it.
Valera, of course, he's our national artist and our one and only national artist in fashion. Yes. I think it helps a lot to know that fashion is a serious industry. I mean, fashion is business, and many times there's an impression that fashion is just about beauty and about glamour. But to be able to actually make fashion visual, you actually do a lot of hard work, most of the time, which is being able to design and construct, innovate a beautiful product, which is normally a beautiful clothing or garment or gown.
You know, ever since I was young, he made all of my mother's gowns and ternos, and my mother was promoting him in the store. I grew up knowing Ramon Valera, and when I turned 18, he made my gown. When I got married, he made my gown. Well, I was young, and you know, we were always taught at that time, when you're young, you just keep quiet. The children are seen, not heard. So I did not really talk to him very much, but I found that during the time that we are there with him, he's very gentle. He's really a man of the, a man of the manor born. Very, very polite, well educated. He speaks with a soft voice. I never heard him say any bad words to his costureras. My mother and him would have a good time making chismis.
They must have planned it, like, I would say a year before, because if you look at the beadwork, I would think like they were stuck with glue. But no, they're not. They're shown one by one.
The traditional terno, it's not as relevant to wear every day, nor probably on some very important functions wherein you do not need to raise your arms. But the generation today, I think, will design something more functional with some influence of movement and I would say considering functionality, but maintaining a little bit of its form.
Wow, I was so happy and also pleased that I sort of inspired him to come out with that design. Because of course the designer has to get inspired. And so I said, wow, that inspired him to do such a beautiful gown. I found it so beautiful. The ribbons, the color, it's beautiful.
The dress dictates your posture. You have no choice but to sit straight and to stand straight, because it's almost like you are cemented into it, and your posture has to be straight, because if not, then the ribs here, the metal ribs, will poke you if you slouch like this.
I think it's the way the sleeve is constructed, and in fact traditionally it's close to the elbow or below the elbow, somewhere nearby the elbow. So it is rather difficult to raise your arms because it will bend your butterfly sleeves. So now we'll see what the students are going to do, because whatever they design, it is something that is relevant to their lives today.
You know, it's not easy to construct a dress and make the fitting good depending on the design that you are making. And it needs study, it needs, I don't know, it's not easy. Because sometimes I fit a dress, it looks nice when you look at it, but my goodness, you know, it doesn't feel comfortable because it was not, the construction was not correct.
Well, the tenacity in the beading is one, and how he just manages. If you look at it, the cuts are pretty basic. You know, it's pretty consistent like this, but it's his color combinations. They're so unusual. I mean, apart from the beading designs, because what he has done with beads, like it's out of this world, like how he beads.
I think first is the sleeves. Second, most of the closure of the clothing is the back. So you have the back zipper or the back buttons. So you always have to make sure you have somebody who can help you at home to put it on and take it off. And then during those times, there was no stretch technology in the materials, right? So that's why Tats is sitting down like this because there's no stretchability in the material. And today, even if the fabrics are woven, but the thread or the yarn has some stretchability, so there is movement like this one. You know, it looks tight, but it stretches. Last, of course, is the role of the women. They're not really supposed to be moving as much as the men. They don't really have to be as functional. They just have to be very pretty for their husbands or for the family.
You really need an eye to see how all of those things come together, how the hues come together, and then the shade of the fabric. You know, it's almost tea-stained.
Like painting, you know, it's well put together. The colors, the embroidery, the fabric that you use. There's so much to learn from just looking at his works. Of course, for young designers, construction is also important, but that you learn from school.
I think during the time of Valera, that was the time where in Philippines was absorbing more of Western fashion. Yes, and I find his clothing rather European, which is the top of fashion that time, and a lot of them are, you call it couture when they're handmade and they're quite embellished. And for me, it was his design was rather very European, very global that time. But he kept the Filipino signature, which is the sleeve. So that was diversity.
His colors are almost alchemical. It's not your traditional color wheel. You know, what contrasts, what matches. It's not color wheel. It's color science, I would say.
I think most of us designers in my time were quite conscious about Valera. It is really more the students this generation, the millennial, has no idea about who Valera is. Kaya it's such a good time to have this exhibit. And especially in this populated school, it's not just for the fashion students. We have like 13, 14 programs from the architecture, industrial design, interior design.
I think the younger generation needs to know how to use their hands. It's not just Google making. You know what I mean? It's not a research by Google, it's research through books. You smell the paper.
I would like him to be remembered as a person who loved what he did and improved on the art of his work, and that he was happy to pass it on for as long as he could.